sit down and talk to him tomorrow. Right, let's talk about Deontay Wilder's return.
Correct.
Impressed? Not impressed?
I mean, the question is, let's be honest. Are you guys impressed? You know, what I mean, yes, he's a former world champion. He's took some hard losses in the past as part of the sport, but did he look really that good? No. You know, let's be honest. And you know, the one thing about it, I wasn't really gonna say anything about his, performance. But, when you talk shit about me and my name, I have to retaliate. You know what I mean? I have to be called and be dealt with. And at this point, I would love to fight Deontay. If he's up to it, he said he will smack me when he sees me, but he sees me enough time, he ain't gonna do shit.
When was the last time you two crossed paths?
I think it was in Miami. He was getting out his Lambo, and I was in my Benz. And the cross pad, I had my gack on my waist, and I'm like, yo, what up, pussy? Nah, we busy each other.
I was gonna say you're like a drag race.
Nah. His shit would definitely smoke my shit back then, because my shit's big as a fucking horse. Nigga. That shit wasn't going nowhere against that Lambo.
Is that the first time you've ever admitted that you might lose something?
Because you know what? I think that's so hard. So a lot of these guys out here spending money on cars. Like, I'm actually a car dealer. I have a lot of little toys people know about. Be hiding out, right? That car was not meant for speed. He had a Lamborghini Urus that day, and it had an SE3 AMG Benz tune pipe kit, the whole nine. Yang, but he would have smoked me. If we got on the highway, he would have smoked me in that Lambo for sure. But my 2,000 horsepower Nissan GTR, I would have lit his ass up.
You got Nissan GTR?
I got GTR, boy. 2015, boy. Been sitting on that motherfucker.
Is that the pride of your garage?
It's one of my prides. It's one of my prides. I'm looking at a Super. I'm trying to get the Super 97. I'm trying to get it. But I might go to Japan and give another GTR. So I'm thinking about it.
I was going to say like the old school Japanese street racing.
I'm thinking about it. Yeah. I got to knock somebody out first, though.
Is that someone, Deontay?
Huh?
Is that someone, Deontay?
I'm hoping, bro. I'm hoping.
Do you think if that fight was put to Deontay, because look, he's a big name, and there's a lot of opportunities out there for him. If that fight was put to Deontay, do you think he goes yes, he goes no, he goes another time?
So what I heard was his manager, Shelly Finkel, is actually entertaining the idea and wants a serious offer on the table to fight. The problem is Deontay might want too much money. I think it can be priced out. Respectfully, I understand that too. But if you want to make a fight happen, you want to make a fight happen. We don't know. Like I said, AJ turned down the fight. Jared Anderson and his team kind of went quiet. And I just clapped back at Deontay today. If you didn't see my Instagram video about me and Deontay, go check it out. It's sure to make you laugh. And I was half naked too for y'all ladies to check it out. But I'm saying before, you're gonna have some fun, man. I'm gonna turn up. Like y'all know me. I was being quiet for a little while, kind of dealing with all the bullshit. But now I'm gonna turn up every chance I see these dudes. On the stomping ground first. Let's go.
Are you gonna turn up when you see Carl Froch in Istanbul tomorrow?
Man, Carl Froch, listen.
So that clip made some waves.
That's good.
That conversation in Riyadh.
That's good. It made some waves. Listen, I have memory like an elephant. Now,
do they have good memory?
Yeah, they do have good memory. Yeah, they remember you. Yeah, they'll fuck you up if they remember you steal their peanuts or some shit. So, years ago when a whole situation happened with me and AJ, Carl Fox, I'm talking a whole lot of shit you talk shit, guess what? I'm going to remember it. So don't remember. Years go by, I'm still going to hold a grudge. You know what I'm trying to say about respectful? Nah, fuck respectful. I'm going to hold a grudge. When I see it's going to be on site, I'm going to say what I need to say about you. But we all know that Carl Fox has a thing on his shoulder against AJ. And the whole conversation was about AJ and then Carl Fox. I forgot how the thing started anyway, but Carl Fox be hating on AJ anyway. You already know that anyway, but...
You do enough hating on AJ anyway.
Yeah, but that's not hating. It's competition, though. It's more than hating. If I was in his weight class, I wouldn't say shit about it. I don't give a fuck. Do I really talk about smaller weights like that? No, not really. I talk about heavyweights because I'm a heavyweight. I talk shit about people that I know I can actually put my hands on. I'm a real killer. I'm not going to go talk about Gervonta Davis. I know me and him are never going to fight. That's some punk shit. I'm 200 pounds bigger than him. Of course I'm going to beat him. So why would I talk shit about him for? I talk shit about guys that would give me a challenge. And that's AJ.
Do you like Moses Atama versus Dillian White?
Here's how to never have to worry about money after.
And those are the words of Jarrell Miller once again. Shout out to the Stomping Ground for getting the interview. Okay. A lot of things were in talks. Shelly Finkel's entertaining an idea. Wilder might want too much money, as we just heard. So Jarrell Miller's looking for a fight. And I think, this was a much more toned down Jarrell Miller than yesterday. Yesterday, we heard the in-your-face, graphic, aggressive Jarrell Miller. This particular interview was more cordial, when he seen, Wilder the last time. And, I want people to understand, keep in mind that Jarrell Miller was responding to what Wilder said about him. And this isn't like the first time that he said that. He said that he'll slap Jarrell Miller a few months ago, I think it was. And then he said it again briefly right after his Herndon fight. So I'm assuming that he was at the airport in Wichita, Kansas with that remark when he made that remark. But, Jarrell Miller was just responding to that, being Jarrell Miller. But realistically speaking, a fight between him and Deontay Wilder would sell. Jarrell Miller versus Deontay Wilder would sell. And I think based on the last performance of Deontay Wilder, Jarrell got a shot. Because if AJ can't crack no more, Jarrell's going to run right over him. Because all he's going to do is well on him. And Wilder, if he doesn't have that equalizer, he's fried, refried, cooked. Because Jarrell Miller's going to throw shots, just like he did Andy Ruiz. And Jarrell took Andy's shots, and Andy's an explosive counterpuncher. And then he broke his hand on his face. So that boy got a chin on him. You can say whatever you want about Jarrell Miller, big pharmacy, big whatever, big hamburger, big cheeseburger, whatever you want to call him. That chin is intact. Okay, even Daniel Dubois couldn't put him down. They stopped the fight, but he didn't go down. He went down because his ass was fatigued. And I'm pretty sure that the dynamite in Dubois' hands had a lot to do with his, body language. But, he still couldn't drop him, though. So to this day, this dude's never been down. He's been stopped, but he's never been down to the canvas. He ate shots from Daniel Dubois all night. Andy Ruiz. Lucas Brown, a lot of guys that he's been in there with and took their shots. So that's still a good fight. And it's also knowing the possibilities of Wilder not having it no more. It's a dangerous fight, and it makes it that much more intriguing, because what happens when you don't have what you're known for? And obviously, like we all know, because you guys probably have seen or will see volume 2 of what I posted yesterday concerning Jarrell Miller. But I'll say this. That's a dangerous fight, and it's more than just, again, competition. It's more than that. Because you think Deontay Wilder doesn't have a special hatred for Jarrell Miller? If any inkling of what Jarrell Miller was actually capping about was actually true? Now think about it. You should hate Jarrell Miller, Deontay Wilder, for 2 reasons. A or B. A, what he actually said was true. And you settled down and procreated, and someone gave you a child in that relationship, knowing that being the case. That's A. B, he's lying about the whole thing, and he's making your girl look bad or your ex look bad, and he's a liar, and that should make you hate him just that much more. So either one, A or B, are bad. So that equals hatred. Either avenue you go down, A or B, he should hate Jarrell Miller with a passion, with a twist. You see what I'm saying? So I do think at the end of the day, those guys need to fight. And business is one thing, but like Jarrell Miller said, if you want to make a fight, you're going to make a fight. And I think Jarrell Miller, he's calling out to Turki Al-Sheikh, because that's one guy that can get that fight made. And he's able to fast track all the bullshit, because we may not have the investors over here. We don't know how Al Heyman really is and where he truly stands with Deontay. Deontay's last fight wasn't on Al Heyman, so we don't even know if he's working with Al Heyman. The last 2 fights before that were both Matchroom DAZN fights representing Turki Al-Sheikh's money. So we don't know what America could do for Wilder versus Miller. You know, his last venue, I think it's BLK Prime. Well, we don't really know what type of offer they would make for him. You see what I mean? So Turkey would probably have to do it on the best business outcome for really realistically making that fight happen. But I'll tell you this. The fight should happen for many, many reasons. I do approve that fight. I think that fight is just as big as AJ versus Miller. And we know that's huge for personal reasons because Jarrell Miller does not like AJ. And you know AJ does not like Miller. Those guys get into it every time they're around each other. They're at each other's neck. Remember the days of reckoning? Remember that? Where you had AJ there, and you had Wilder there, and AJ was looking at, it looked like he was looking at Wilder, but he was actually looking at Miller. Oh, yeah. So besides that, this is the fight to bet on. You guys tell me what you think of the latest from Jarrell, Big Baby Miller. Of course, please subscribe. And you guys been Counterpunch.